For this evening's movie notes video, I will be covering I did audio check, so now this is the real deal, as long as the audio is turned on and no other filming mishaps happen nor uploading and publishing, I think. So the movie I watched this evening, Friday, 22 March 2024, I'm Tanis Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle, was the 1965 movie, The Great Race. Runtime of 160 minutes, which is 2 hours and 40 minutes, so it's a little on the longer side. This is one of my all-time favorite movies. Let me provide some background as to why I own this video, why it's in my DVD collection. And so I was watching TV at one point in time in my life, and I was a preteen or early teenager, and there was a sword fighting scene on TV, and it was from this one, and it's where they're in a castle, and there's the Great Leslie, the guy who wears a bunch of white, this character, and he's fighting a guy who's in like a satiny blue purple shirt, and he's fighting the Leslie with sword fighting. And I enjoyed sword fighting. There's actually a fencing seduction scene in this, so I'll put this one in the fencing playlist. I'm trying to do movies where there's fencing scenes if I do movie notes for it, and I remember putting it in the fencing. I have a video on this YouTube channel, Tanis Leonhardi, for fencing. So like Die Another Day, the James Bond movie, had fencing in it, and this one does as well, so let's put this in there. And so it was actually the sword fight. Fencing and sword fighting are two different things. Different weapon sizes. The smaller swords are fencing. The heavier duty, like weaponry, is sword fighting. Though I'm not saying you can't get injured by the fencing swords. I'm just different weight, so to speak. And so I really was captivated and enjoyed what I saw on TV. And I was like, what movie is this? What movie is this? And I found out what movie it was. And we were still young enough that it was like, we still had family movie time. And we still, like, we could bring up a movie and our parents would try and find it. If, like, my sister and I wanted to bring up a movie. So I was like, oh, The Great Race. And my sister had never heard of it. And both my parents knew of it. So my parents had already seen it. I had not seen it all the way through. And my sister hadn't even heard of it. And she was like, but you've probably already seen it. And I was like, no, I saw like 5 minutes on TV. And I wanted to see it. And so I think my dad found the movie. My mom and my dad loved it. My sister was kind of like, meh. It wasn't her thing, but I absolutely loved it. And I loved it so much, I actually got it on DVD, which I still have in my DVD collection. However, after I moved out at my parents' house in 2012 to 2019, I was gone for approximately 8 consecutive full-time years, approximately. And my parents took some of the movies from my DVD collection bins and put it in what are now like kind of booklets, big booklets. That was kind of my recommendation for, like, there used to be shelves, and then my mom was looking at collapsing it down. I was like, you should get like music album, like if you take CDs, they look like this. If you unzip them, there's this, so you can put the DVD jacket here, and then the disc goes in over here, so you can still save like the DVD information. And so that was this was my recommendation to Mom. So my mom got a number of them and put stuff in there, but she took some of my DVDs and put them in there. So while they are my DVD collection, they're now housed in the family DVDs. I do not know if I would take them with me if I moved out again. But because my parents enjoy them too. But gotta leave some of the stuff for my parents to watch. And so that's the background about this. What the heck is The Great Race? This is a 1965 movie. And it's an action-adventure film that has sword fighting in it, and fencing. as I've said, where there's a car race from New York City, United States of America, to Paris, France. So it starts in New York City, United States of America, and goes to Paris, France. And it's about characters, kind of a feuding duo of a professor and a non-professor. So Professor Fate and the Great Leslie, and their dynamic, plus this additional woman who kind of tags along, who's all about women's rights and stuff like that. And that dynamic, but there's a bunch of other people in the race. And so it's about the shenanigans. I would kind of describe it as it's a fiction film, action adventure would be kind of my broad classification. However, it does get into, it's more of an action adventure romance movie. It's not like strictly romance. It's like there's a little bit of romance thrown in, which is very much action adventure genre, but there's a little bit of Western. There's 2 musical numbers that are like, it's not a musical, but there are you know, 2 hours and 40 minutes, 2 musical numbers is not very much. Kind of thing. And there's palaces and in a, you know, fictitious land, you know, or a palace in a fictitious land, or that kind of stuff. So it's very much an action adventure movie, and it's just really enjoyable. And so that's background about the movie. For this viewing, is there anything I remembered on this viewing? I love watching this movie, and it's one of my favorites all time, because I can tell if there's something wrong with my brain, like if I have really, really bad mental health, if I watch this movie and I'm struggling watching it. So this was a pristine viewing. I even remembered some of the feelings from my first time seeing like the first snippet of it on TV, and then watching it the first time through with my family. Kind of thing. My parents, they actually met in class, and I think they even invited the professor that they met in a mathematics class. Like, that's where they met, and then, you know, that led to them getting married and having me and my sister and me. My sister's older than me, and it's just her and I. And so they invited their professor, and I was like, oh, I wonder if, you know, they liked professors, and like, I liked the professor character in this movie as well, kind of thing. So it was kind of cool in that sense of, it rhymes with their love story. Both my parents were born before this, so they didn't meet until after this movie came out, kind of thing. And, well, not kind of thing. And yeah, so it was a fun viewing. I do not have a problem, except unless I have really bad mental health, viewing this all the way through. I do actually enjoy, if I'm really overly loaded mentally at work and stuff like that, and speaking from experience, this is a perfect movie to just put on and watch on my computer, turn the internet off, put it in the disk drive of my laptop, and just watch it. And that has worked for me. Even when I have bad mental health, it's like, well, then I know I have bad mental health because I'm having a hard time watching it, but I can still view it. So it's a good, that's not necessarily true for The Lord of the Rings. This is just it's one that jives with my brain. So, and today was a really, really harmonious viewing. Anything else? If this were to manifest in my life, so let's do me and five of my friends. Let's do me. I'm in a car race, so there's like 6 of us, and we're doing this race. What would the finishing order be? Me and 5 of my friends. Might be me. No, I probably wouldn't be first. It'd be Dominique Saboslai. Fueled by, we had a problem. We couldn't figure out what he would be eating on the trip. Is that right? Yeah, we couldn't figure it out. Oh, I remember. He would be fueled by Raising Cane's Texas Toast. He'd get first. Jacob Ingebrigtsen, fueled by Taco Bell Crunch Wrap Supremes, would get second. Alexander Popov, fueled by ham and cheese pierogi, would take 3rd place. I did think about this when I was watching the movie. Okay, this time, so this is very unique to this viewing. 4th was, let's see, who would get 4th was Leon Marchand, fueled by cafeteria croissants, ham, cheese, and green beans. And then 5th would be Noah Lyles, fueled by Fauquier, 2% yogurt with peach mix in. And I would be fueled in 6th place by Top Pot Donuts, and I would get 6th place because I couldn't make up my mind on the donut. So, like, that inability to decide on one fuel source gets reflected in me getting last place. So, yeah, I thought about that during this. I was like, how would it actually play out? And I actually came up with that when I was like viewing it, and I was like, this was a fun viewing. Sometimes really, this is one of those movies where I can watch it and fun stuff like this can just come out of viewing it, where I'm just like, I'm having such a good time. The creative juices just flow. And so that was this viewing. It was a wonderful viewing. I highly recommend, if you've not ever seen this movie, dropping everything and finding the nearest DVD store or the nearest DVD of the Grey Race 1965 film near you and putting it in your DVD drive, be it a computer or like a DVD player or like that's connected to a TV or DVD player, like the portable DVD players. Highly recommend in disc form. No internet connectivity issues. This is my preference, right? I got it. So thank you for joining me for this movie notes video. I'm Tanis Leonhardi. It's my YouTube channel, Tanis Leonhardi. Filming this Friday, 22 March 2024. This is my movie notes for this viewing today, 22 March 2024, of the 1965 film, The Great Race.